Well, first of all, let's not make this bigger than it is. It's Game 5. A lot to like about our game. It's a unique situation, but let's not blow this out of proportion here.
One of the things that stands out to you is you don't commit a penalty tonight. You get 30 shots on net. There's some things there that obviously should translate into a...
Yeah, there's a lot of good. We're getting a lot of chances. This is a unique start to a season in a sense of a couple games where we feel like we've really thrown a lot at the other team and we're not getting rewarded. So I think it's on us to make sure that the mindset stays the same in here and we don't go off the grid to find something. We need to stay the course. Over time, the results will come.
Is that the message basically from the coaching staff, that you will be rewarded if you keep playing like this?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's easy, right? I think we can all go home and sleep well knowing we played another good hockey game. We're competitors. We want to win. We'd love to see the puck go in the net. But right now it's not. It's on us to be mature about this and think that if we just keep bringing that. I said the same the other night. It's the same thing.
On the flip side, just the way you defended one of the most explosive teams in the NHL.
Yeah, we protected the middle of the ice pretty good. You know, he's gonna get some looks. Like it's inevitable, but I thought we limited the grade A's and got some big saves from Chesty when we needed them, and just another good hockey game. It sucks to be on the losing end, but like I said, it's a good test for us as a group right now for our mindset, and I love the way we're playing the last couple games. So let's just keep plugging away.
And finally, about your fourth line and what they brought to the table.
Yeah, I thought Sam was the best player in the rink tonight. He was unbelievable. That line just drove play every time, and Sam was unbelievable. So happy to see him have success. And once again, he could have had 4 or 5 himself. It seemed like that whole line. So like I said, tons of good things. Getting a lot of contributions from a lot of different guys. If we keep plugging away, it'll change.
JT, I know you have a lot of experience against Connor from when you guys were in the same division. So how much, and obviously tonight you were out there against him a lot, so how much do you kind of relish that opportunity, and what kind of challenge is it?
Yeah, we played against each other a lot of shifts. It's a lot. I love it. I think that when I was young in the league, I really respected the guys on this team when I came into the league of their responsibilities against other people's top line. So, it's a great opportunity for me. He's a hell of a competitor. It's hard to do it every shift. He's going to get something sometimes, but you just try not to make it too big of a grade A. And I thought we, for the most part, defended the middle against him pretty well tonight. Like I said, it's just about capitalizing on some chances.
You know, that'll probably cost me some sleep tonight, but move on to the next game.
What's the message in this locker when you play almost a near perfect game? You don't commit a penalty. You win the face-offs. You get opportunities.
Yeah, it's great for your confidence. You know, obviously that's a really good hockey team that's been in the finals 2 years in a row. So. Highly offensive team that we I would say outplayed them, outchanced them, and very easily could have won that game. A couple bounces here or there. So it's good. I think our mindset here is good. We're in a good place right now. We know we're playing well. We're a tough team to play against, and once they start going in, it's things are going to turn around here.
Is there any frustration that you have not been able to score in 3 games at home?
Yeah, it's frustrating for sure, but like I said before, it's this is where you lean on your experience, your veteran guys that have been around and been through slumps, and you got to stick with it. I think at the end of the day, if we weren't getting chances, we'd be a lot more frustrated, a lot more worried. But we're getting enough to win hockey games here, and limiting the other team as well. So I think we're taking the right steps.
Well, the message was that we have to make sure that we don't get discouraged, because there's a lot to like with our game over the last 6 periods. I feel like we're controlling play, we're controlling territory, we're limiting shots and shots and scoring chances. We're generating a fair amount on our own at the other end of the rink. I think when you look at our power play, 5-on-5, some of our most talented guys are getting really good, high-quality looks, and the puck hasn't gone in the net. And so, you can't always control whether the puck is in the net or it doesn't. But I think if we just stay with it and we don't get discouraged, we just get determined here, we're going to be okay. I think, in this early part of the season, our coaching staff has really liked how the group has come together. I think we're getting stingier defensively, which is an important aspect, I think, for our team moving forward. If we continue to generate quality scoring chances at the rate which we're doing, I believe that they're going to go in the net. I think our players are too talented. I just think right now it's just been a struggle finding the back of the net.
Mike, it looked like Vakanainen only got 2 shifts in that third period.
part of it is just matchups. You know, they separated McDavid and Draisaitl through the course of the game. So we just made adjustments as far as what our defense pairs looked like. You know, you saw Schneid's play the left side, and moved him into the top four, so to speak. And so that's part of it. It was just circumstantial more than anything.
Mike, within the matchups, it looked like you had JT out there a lot against McDavid. Just why was that a matchup you liked, and how do you feel like that line did in that matchup, which is obviously a tough one?
Because I think JT's hard to play against. You know, I think he has a lot of detail in his game. You know, he's strong. He's good positionally. He has good awareness. And so that was part of the reason why we liked that matchup. That's what we went into the game, you know, strategizing. And I thought his line did a real good job against them. You know, McDavid is an elite player, and you know he's not an easy guy to contain, and especially when he was playing with Draisaitl, when the two of them are on the same line, that's as powerful a line as there is in the league. And I thought those guys did a real good job just as far as limiting the offense that they generated. You know, I think the fact that their coach split them up a little bit might be an indication of how well they did. So I thought JT had a strong game once again.
Mike, what did you learn about your fourth line tonight?
Which line is that?
Well, the rink and Carrick. I imagine the third line.
I think that line has played extremely well for us. You know, I think they're a great momentum line. You know, they play with great energy. They're physical. You know, they're a presence on the ice. I think they create anxiety out there, and I think that's an important element of what they do for us. I think that line has been a strong line for us at both ends of the rink. You know, when they've been in their own end, they've been defending hard. You know, by nature of their size, they just take up space. They have a lot of, you know, a big wingspan. They get in front of pucks. They block shots. And then, you know, they have the ability to establish a forecheck and hang on to pucks. You know, they've spent a significant amount of time in the offensive zone. You know, I think that line has generated a lot of scoring chances themselves. You know, Sam Carrick hits the crossbar. You know, Remps had one right in front across the goal line. I think that play from Conashiri that almost went in. You know, Eddie's had a handful of chances every game. So that line, I think, has played. It's been very effective for us, and so they're getting rewarded with more ice time.
Mike, with you know, obviously with the scoring or lack of scoring, with forwards or skaters, you can ask them about their frustration. But how has Igor been handling the lack of goal scoring? I mean, sometimes he's been emotional in his goal, but he seemed very composed the past couple of games.
Yeah, he's fine. You know, he just does what he does. He's a terrific goalie. He gives us timely saves. He did it again tonight. You know, I think our team is doing a good job defending in front of him, but you know, it's a game of mistakes, and when you play, you know, good teams, they're going to get some looks, and Shesty's been there to make that timely save for us. He made a couple of key saves for us tonight. He's fine. He just, you know, he controls what he can. He's had a great start for us.
What do you like most about what's going on in front of him and the way you guys are defending from a team standpoint?
I just think they're buying into team defense and the importance of it, and playing within structure. You know, one of the things we've talked to them a lot about since day one is it's just hard to score your way to success. And, you know, an opportunity for us as a team is to value playing defense and making that part of the fabric of our identity. And, you know, a lot of it boils down to attention to detail, you know, and valuing the things that don't necessarily require a lot of talent. It requires some talent, but, you know, just how hard you track back into the defensive zone, your willingness to stop in the scoring area, your willingness to stop on pucks, you know, your willingness to finish a check. You know, those are things that everybody's capable of doing. I think the guys are buying into it, and we're becoming more difficult to play against as a result. I do believe that the offense will come. I think, you know, if we weren't generating scoring chances, it would be a different conversation. But, you know, we believe we are, based on everything that we're watching and tracking, and we believe that, you know, it's not sustainable that the pucks aren't going to go in the net if we continue to generate the type of looks that we've generated. So if we can combine our stinginess defensively and our willingness to do the little things that make us harder to play against, and we continue to generate the looks that we have, we believe that this group will pull itself out of it, and we'll start to win some games.
Where are you at?
Last one.
Where are you at with Panarin's game? He's obviously used to scoring a lot of points this year. Like a lot of guys, they haven't come, but him specifically, where are you at kind of with his game?
I think he's part of that group of offensive players. It hasn't been from a lack of opportunity. You know, he's been playing with Mika, and I think Mika's had a great start to the season. You know, they get a handful of looks every single game. You know, the last game they come down on that 2-on-1. Mika, you know, that one-timer was a bomb. You know, what are the chances? You know, if you give him 20 of those, he's probably scoring on 19 of them. And so, you know, how do you evaluate that type? How do you assess, you know, these guys in those situations? Like I said, you can't always control whether the puck was in the net, but what you can control is the process of generating looks. And I think those guys are getting looks. If they weren't, this would be a different narrative. But, you know, this is the conversation we had with the group after the game. We just have to stay the course. We got to dig in. We can't get discouraged. We just got to become more determined, and the pucks will go in the net for us. But we have to continue to do the things that are allowing us to generate the looks that we're getting. As long as we can do that, I believe these guys are too talented. They're going to score goals.